Lights. We are here with another spirit summoning video. I have been asked to summon these two spirits. Now, as always, as you've seen the other videos that I've done, I always drop the name of the spirit, and what I do is I actually replace it with the picture of their doll or their vessel. So while I speak it, their name, so they know who I'm talking to, obviously you're just going to see the picture. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start this. And you need to sit your fuzzy butt down, because I swear if you pee on my excuse me for 1 minute. Okay, sorry about that. I had to sit the dog back down. So the very first spirit that I am going to be doing an interview with is, now she comes from the same place that Alice has come from. And the reason I mention that is because she did not want to be summoned down here. I summoned her and the other spirit came, and she did not come. And I said, okay, what's going on? Does she not want to come? And this other spirit said, no, she doesn't want to come. Okay, so I sent this spirit back and asked that please have this spirit come down. So she came down, and I asked her, are you afraid to talk to me? Are you afraid that you're going to be kind of like expelled from the home? And she said yes. And I asked her, is it because of what happened with Alice? And she said yes. And I said, well, are you anything like Alice? And she said yes. And I was like, okay, well, wait, let's break this down step by step, because there's multiple layers to Alice. So, I talked just a little bit with her, which is not something I normally do. I usually go with a clean slate, but I talked a little bit with her, and I feel comfortable enough with her that I don't think she's completely like Alice was. So right now, let's talk with her. Now, girl has power. Okay. So I would like you to tell me about your life. Is that something you're comfortable talking about? Are you of Hispanic origin? Because she is giving me Spanish words. And I do know some. So some of the words, I know enough to know that she was speaking in Spanish to me. Are you able to speak English at all? So you're able to understand it but not speak it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask one of my other spirits to come over and translate. Is that okay with you? Okay. So, Simon, if you could come over here for just a few minutes. Simon is my multilingual spirit. He can speak just about every language known to man. Simon, are you fluent in Spanish? He said sí. Perfect. Okay. So, can you please translate saying to me? Okay. So please go ahead, tell me about your life, and I will have Simon tell me what you said. Did you say she's from Cordova, Spain? She's from Cordova, Spain. What year are we talking about? Is that 1024 or 1042? 1042. Okay. There's something about a well. What about a well? I'm not. Is she still telling you? Okay. Now, Simon, she said that she was like Alice. Was she a bruja? Okay, for those who do not speak Spanish, I don't know a few words. Bruja means witch in Spanish. I get the feeling that she was like a lady in waiting to a noble person or something. She was an attendant. She was an attendant. Okay, so she was an attendant to a noble woman. And she was a bruja in the terms of she understood what he's saying, apothecary. This is what Simon is translating, apothecary, which meant she was well versed in herbs and what they could be used for. And now, did she work as a nanny for the children? Okay, because I got that there was something about children. And so she worked as a nanny for the children. Did she work for the lady first?
I can search the web for you.
The Google Assistant on my phone just went off. And I was not obviously touching it. Wow. That's crazy. Okay. Stuff's starting to happen. Okay, so let's get back to her. So what, like a wet nurse or a midwife? Okay, so she was a wet nurse for one of the daughters. And they kept her on as a nanny because she had apothecary skills. Okay. So now I want to say she's like in her 40s or 50s. Like late 40s, maybe early 50s. But I'm seeing pock marks on her skin. Is that what you're seeing too, Simon? She's got pock marks? I'm guessing that's... Is it chicken pox or smallpox? He said smallpox. Did that kill her? Is that what killed her, the smallpox? Okay. Okay. I can feel like somebody touching right here. Was it something that like touched like the whole family, the children, and because I get the feeling that there was some problem with the children, and I think maybe the children came down with it first, and when she was trying to nurse them, she contracted it, and I think they all died. I think they all died from smallpox. But at that time, they didn't know, like, in 10, well, yeah, it wasn't even 1100 yet, so they didn't know that it was actually smallpox then. That smallpox wasn't, like, actually, like, diagnosed as smallpox until, like, what, like the 1700s? 1700s, I think. So they weren't sure what it was. So why do you think you're like Alice? I mean, were you doing strange experiments? Or trying to master powers that were kind of like out of your control? That's why. That's why there was something about the children. Because she was, they died, and I think they died, and she was trying to, like, bring them back, I think. And that's how she feels that she's like Alice. But yeah, you understand you're not like Alice, because you were grief stricken because you love those kids, and you were grief stricken, and you were dabbling, trying to do something. She was doing it to try to gain power, and she was in a totally different sphere. Her energy was way different than yours. You do not challenge me. You don't think you're better than anybody else. Your energy is completely different. You are not an Alice. You're not. Just don't think that for a second. And I don't think that that's going to, because she was really scared that she was basically going to be sent away from where she is now, because she did something that was like Alice, and that was, you know, Alice was sent to me, and I had to deal with Alice, and these are two totally different things, totally different circumstances. No, you're not going to be thrown out, because that's why she did not want to come, because she was afraid that was going to be her outcome. But she tried to do what she tried to do because she loved those children, and she was grief stricken. She is not an Alice, and you're not going to be sent away from where you are now, because she really likes where she is. She really wants to stay where she is, and she was so scared to come and talk to me. And I told her, I said, listen, just give me an honest interview, and I will make a judgment call. And she has been very honest with me. because I don't sense any type of like deceit or negativity from her at all. She basically raised those children from the day they were born, and she loved those children, and I did get that right, didn't I? Yes. Okay. And she was just torn up with grief. And when she was doing what she was doing to try to bring them back, that's when she contracted the smallpox, and it ended up costing her life. Which she's like giving me the indication she didn't care, because once those kids were gone, she didn't care. She's going like this, meaning her heart was torn out when those children died. So she's very protective, and tries to like use her energy to keep people from getting too sick, and from being in like a lot of pain, from like major illnesses and pain. She uses up a lot of her energy to try to help them with that. Yeah, I nailed it. Anything else that you really want to say? Is there anything else you want to talk about? I'm getting like a build up right here, like an emotional build up, and she's actually speaking in English. It's like very slow, but she wants to like emphasize, to say, please no send me gone. That's the way she said it. Please no send me gone. Did I get that right? Please no send me gone. She doesn't want to go. She's happy where she is. She loves the people that she's with. She's like her hands are like, please no go, please no go. I told you I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. Like everything that was in the email, that I don't see that happening, sweetie. You're fine. You're not an Alice. You're fine. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? You're not an Alice. Alice was a totally different. Alice was cuckoo nutso. Alice wanted to take on the world, and she knew she was probably going to end up in a bad situation. You are not an Alice, okay? It's not going to happen that way, okay? You understand? Okay. Is there anything else you want to say? Okay, anything else you want to talk about? She's done. She's done, but she's kind of like scared, a little upset that she's going to be sent away. So I think if you just like reassure her, she'll be fine. Okay, so moving on, the next spirit who has been patiently waiting is, she's ready to go. Oh, and by the way, Simon, thank you so much for translating. I appreciate your help always with all of my multilingual spirits. Okay, so let's talk with you and let's figure out your story. So talk to me, girl. What have we got? So, a lot like her doll, she is blonde. And she has her hair in pigtails, actually. She has brown eyes. No, I'm sorry, hazel eyes. They're hazel eyes. And is that 10 or 11? 10. She's 10. And can you tell me when you were born? 1953. Was it 52? No, it was 53. 1950, May 1953. What? Did you say the 23rd? Okay. So, and this is especially with children, you kind of don't want to open that Pandora's box. Do you want to tell me about your life? Okay. Do you want to tell me how you came to die so young? Okay. I just want to ask one question on that. Will you be truthful on it? Was it from an illness? No, it was from an accident. It was from she kind of knew where I was going. She said it was from an accident. And you don't want to talk about the accident? Okay. I thought you said you didn't want to talk about it. She's showing me like some stuff. Did you drown, sweetheart? Is that what happened? Because I was seeing like boats, water. That was my first guess. I didn't want to keep going from there, but I thought you said you didn't want to talk about it. I changed my mind. Is there anything else you changed your mind about? She had a brother named Stanley. Your last name is Cooper? Okay. Your cat was named Cheshire? Was Alice in Wonderland your favorite? It was her favorite movie. So she had like a gray tabby cat, and she called him Cheshire. But she had trouble, like when she was younger, she had trouble pronouncing it. So they call him Cheshire. Chesser. Yeah. Chesser. That's what she called him. Because she had trouble pronouncing it when she was younger. So Alice in Wonderland is your favorite? Is because you were blonde, did you ever get dressed up as Alice in Wonderland? Yep. Oh yeah, she had like a lot of like, that was her favorite book, and she had like figurines and all kinds of stuff. I think there was like a mural in her bedroom too. There's like a mural painting of it or something. To see like a big picture of it, like the tea party, like the tea party scene. Do you want to tell me where you lived? Now, is that Wisconsin? I think she's saying something like Oakmont. Is that what you're saying? Oakmont, Wisconsin? You know, since I have my phone here, I'm actually just going to look it up. Let's see. There's an Oakmont Drive. Oh. There's an Oakmont Drive. There's an Oakmont subdivision in Waukesha. Homes for sale, Oakmont, Wisconsin. Homes for sale, Oakmont, Wisconsin. Okay. So I guess I heard that right. All right. Is there anything else about your life you want to talk about? Okay. Are you pretty happy where you are? She's kind of like skipping and dancing around here. She's like she's very joyful. And I think you might hear her skipping, or like maybe like running, some kind of like child sounds. But I get the feeling that she skips around the house and you might hear it. And she actually tripped one time, and she fell into like, I think it's like an ottoman or something, and it scooted across the floor, which is kind of, I've never heard of a ghost tripping, but, or maybe she didn't, maybe she just wasn't watching where she was going and she kind of like slammed into it or something. I'm not sure. But I'm seeing like la 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 la, and then boom, right into the ottoman. It's like an ottoman or a footstool or so. It's like something, and I think it's brown. It looks brown, like a suede or a microfiber or a faux suede or something like that. She kind of crashed into it and it just went. Is that right? Am I seeing that right? Okay. But she does like to skip. It's like around the living room. Around the living room. She skips. Is there anything else you want to tell me, sweetie? She keeps going, puppy, puppy. What puppy? She lies on the floor by the dog bed. She says, keep the puppy company. Now, is it an actual puppy? No. You just call it a puppy. Okay. She just calls it a puppy. The dog. But she lies on the floor by the dog bed. Keep the dog company. Is there anything else? No. Do you want to say anything before we finish this off? Are you all done? He's all done. Okay, so that is the 2 spirit summoning video. Well, that's the spirit summoning video of 2 spirits. I will be back with more summoning videos. I have been hired out to do some more, so I will have more coming next week. And I have more spirits that are being bonded with dolls and that are going out. I already have one video edited and ready to go, and I need to do another one, although that spirit might already be spoken for. And I am trying to get more things up on the websites and out. So until the next video, I will see you, well, until the next video. Stay well, and remember to hit the like and the subscribe button and that little notification bell so that you will be notified the next time I post another spirit video. So I will see you next time.